you hunted lions?
Yes, I did.
This experience was truly one of the most unique we've ever had. Join us as we spent 4 days in one of Tanzania's most remote regions. We hiked 20 kilometers through an otherworldly landscape.
We're caught in the sandstorm!
Walk in the footsteps of our ancestors. Come face to face with the ancient semi-nomadic Maasai tribe and visit the largest population of flamingos in the world. An experience that gave us perspective on our small place in a long, rich history. We drove through the bustling streets, leaving the busyness behind. Soon the hot tarmac roads were replaced with dusty trails. We drove for hours through the heat. The world out of our window changing and becoming less familiar with every mile. Giraffe and zebra mingling with flocks of sheep and cows. Children on their own, hours away from any sign of shade and comfort. And a mother with her dusty baby, who as we gave her a carton of juice, had to be taught how to use a straw. These were people from another reality. After driving through small villages, we made our way along some bumpy dirt roads and eventually arrived at camp.
This is like camping in the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere.
But
Yes.
with great hospitality.
You're welcome. Jambo, jambo bwana. Habari gani? Mzuri sana.
This is our guide Lanjo. He is part of the Maasai tribe. A few fun facts about him which highlight how different his world is from ours. He used to hunt lions. He has never heard of Brad Pitt. Cows are a measure of wealth in his culture. His shoes are made out of old bike tires. But even though the life he's led has been so vastly different from ours, his humour is still just the same.
This is so nice.
Yeah.
You're greeted with a cold towel
Yeah.
to clean the dust off.
Yes.
As we arrived to our first camp, we were greeted by the comforting smell of warm food from the kitchen tent.
What a lovely little camp this is, but it is so dusty, isn't it?
Yeah, really dusty.
My hair is thick with dust.
But look at this. This is so cute. What a lovely little camp.
Here we go, it's home.
Wow. Look at this view. Oh, amazing.
So there are scorpions around here, right?
Yes, sometime.
So we need to be careful,
Yeah.
keep the
make
tents closed.
Yeah, make sure close your tent. Don't allow insects to get in.
Insects and scorpions.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Brilliant.
Super comfy beds. Look at that. Oh, popcorn! For everybody!
Yeah.
After a long, hot day's drive, the fresh, cool air of the evening was a welcome relief.
How are you feeling?
Relaxed and excited about tomorrow. Although a big concern, I'm going to get really hot.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
Yeah. We enjoyed sunset by the campfire and relaxed before tomorrow's 20-kilometer walk.
Ready for a 20-kilometer walk?
I slept so well. It's counterproductive because you sleep so well you don't want to get out.
Amazing, thank you.
You're welcome. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yes.
So be honest with us. Is today's hike going to be very difficult because it's 20k, or is it okay?
Is easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yay!
After breakfast, before starting our long walk, We were met with a group of locals who very kindly let us take their portraits. There is something quite magical about standing face to face with people in their world. Although we couldn't communicate, their faces told 1,000 stories.
Aranya-ranya orang gila orang. Orang lain nyor-nyor maling. They also like you. They see you.
I like
Serena! So we've just left camp after hanging out with some of the local Maasai people, and it's so much fun to get to see them and to photograph them. And yeah, they were just amazing. We've already seen some hyena tracks. So that was from last night, hyenas walking right past the camp. And yeah, it's quite good. We're really lucky. It's overcast, which means it's a bit cooler because we've got 20 kilometers now of just trekking through this landscape. So it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, we'll see how we go.
just like the footsteps of mankind.
Along the way, we met a local woman, 𝗂𝗧𝗪𝗏, on her way to collect water.
It is so incredible to me that this is 𝗂𝗧𝗪𝗏's lived reality and that she does this every day. And just the more we meet them and the more we ask, the more we learn about how different their life is. Like, they don't follow a calendar, for example. They just know kind of roughly what month it is, or what the season is, I should say, because they don't really follow months, by looking at the moon, and they follow the patterns of the weather and the stars and things like that. And it's just so different to us, and it feels so much more human in a way than the way we live now. And it's just so interesting to be around and to see.
We walked with 𝗂𝗧𝗪𝗏 all the way to where she would collect water. She would dig under the dry riverbed until she found some water, load up the barrels and return them to their settlement. An almost cliché reminder of how lucky we are to have clean water on tap.
I never thought I'd be holding a fossil that's millions of years old and not even a museum, because there's just so many here.
This particular fossil comes from this really cool extinct African wild cattle. If we were anywhere else in the world, these fossils would be in a museum. But here, the landscape is littered with these windows to the past. The sun burnt through the clouds and the African heat got into our bones as we walked across the dusty plains, through villages, past places and people that we'd never see again. The landscape was harsh and unforgiving. It's a wonder that anything survives out here.
This hike is getting increasingly difficult because it is so hot. I can't even imagine. I think it might be like, it feels like 37 degrees. To be honest, it's so dry. And every time there's a breeze, it's like, thank you.
The main landmark of the hike is the Great Rift Valley, stretching over 6,000 kilometers from Lebanon in the Middle East to Mozambique in Southeast Africa. The Great Rift Valley is often referred to as the cradle of humankind and is one of the most important regions in the world for understanding human evolution. As well as being home of the famous Lucy, a 3.2 million year old skeleton, it's also the site of footsteps dating back approximately 3.6 million years. It's hard to comprehend and to find our place in a history so long.
The final stretch. Now we're nearly home. Asante sana.
By the time we made it to Camp 2, we were very hot and dusty. But after a quick ginger beer and a shower, we were good as new.
Whoa,
That is so funny.
madness.
So we're just here having dinner under our tent in the rain, and we can hear a zebra, and apparently the zebra is potentially being attacked by a hyena. So there's just a hyena attacking a zebra out there somewhere, which seems ludicrous to me, and we're just here having dinner. And I hope the zebra survives.
And the zebra sound, I'd never heard a zebra
Never
before.
heard a zebra sound before.
You try to tell him.
Sounded like a bird or something.
We found out that it was the hyena hunting the zebra, and it's only a few hundred meters away, so it's pretty scary.
Mad.
And yeah, that's how we're going to sleep. But
Right out in the wilderness.
yeah, nice and comfy bed, can't ask for better. Lovely temperature. So Lala Salama,
Lala Salama.
which means sweet dreams.
After breakfast, camp was packed up and we made our way to the final stop of the trip, Lake Natron. The drive was beautiful, large barren landscapes sprinkled with life.
So we've just left the car and we're off starting a walk to the camp, and it's going to take us about 2.5 hours. And yeah, getting slightly used to all of this walking in the heat. It should be beautiful because it'll be our first look of the famous lake.
In the distance, we could see the famous Lake Natron stretching out towards the horizon. On our way down, we met some goats and their young herders heading up. In the Maasai culture, it's common for young children to work for the family, often working long days in the dry heat, hours from home.
Hot and there's no path, and I cannot wait to get into these natural pools everyone speaks of.
Traditional Maasai huts are often made using mud, sticks, grass, cow dung, and urine, which makes surprisingly strong and well-insulated walls. Out of nowhere, for the final leg of the journey, a sandstorm suddenly enveloped the landscape.
Battered.
So we've just arrived to a beautiful room and we couldn't look any less appropriate. Sand everywhere. I look like a witch and you can hear thunder. The sandstorm has passed, but it was really windy last night. And now we're just sitting down having breakfast and hoping for some light, hoping for some sunshine, because there are flamingos right next to us and wildebeest and zebras that we want to explore, enjoy, watch.
After breakfast, we walked down to the lake, past the zebras and wildebeest, to take a closer look at the flamingos. Lake Natron is home to 75% of all flamingos in the world.
We are surrounded by flamingos, and there are just flamingos as far as the eye can see. It's
Thousands.
thousands.
And when you look, it looks like 1,000
thick layer of pink.
Yeah.
And when they fly, it's just like a flock of pink in the sky. And it's incredible to see them in their natural habitat. They're just chilling out. And the fact that we can get this close and that the camp is literally right here is just a gift.
So we are off to get a pedicure, a natural pedicure from some fish in the natural pools just down here. But it is very busy up here. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are about 11 zebras.
Zebras right there.
Did they get you? Did they get you?
These funky little fish live natively in the river and usually feed on things like algae. But when presented the opportunity of delicious dead skin, they will nibble on your feet and it will tickle a lot.
It tickles so much. We are on our way to see some footprints, the real footprints that are over 120,000 years old.
All thanks to Lanjo.
All thanks to Lanjo.
He's gonna take us.
He's take us. Human footprints, I should add.
Yes.
Since recording this, these particular footsteps have been re-estimated to be approximately 12,000 years, which admittedly sounds less impressive than 120,000 years. But in the context of other historical sites, Stonehenge is only 5,000 years old, the pyramids are only 4,000 years old, and the Colosseum a mere 2,000 years old. So these footsteps dating back 12,000 years is still a giant leap back to an unrecognizable world. A world about 6,000 years before the invention of the wheel.
This looks like something from inner cities. This is so cool. You can see, here's his left foot, here's his right foot, which my foot happens to fit into exactly. And then again, so you can kind of guess roughly how quick he must have been walking, because he must have been about my height if his feet are my size. So he's kind of like that, going for it.
It was something quite special to literally be walking in the footsteps of our ancestors.
It's so hard to comprehend that these are footsteps of people that were here 120,000 years ago.
As our trip ended on a high, we were left reflecting on our time in Tanzania.
That surprised me.
Traveling always gives you a new perspective, but few places do so to the same extent as Africa. The rich human history, the raw wildlife and landscapes. It really is another world, forged by another time. A powerful reminder of the vastness of time and the ever-changing nature of our planet.
Lake Natron, Hakuna Matata.
If you've made it this far, comment 12,000 years is still a long time.